This is the 159th episode of CloudFocus Weekly for the Dreamforce week of November 2013. This episode, as if you couldn't tell, is titled Live at Dreamforce 13. CloudFocus Weekly is brought to you by us, Arkus. But before we get started, I want to let you know that we are broadcasting this podcast live from the Community Live studio at Dreamforce. And that is brought to you by ReadyTalk. ReadyTalk delivers audio and web conference services that empower customers to successfully conduct audio and web conferences of all sizes.
Is that what they do?
That sounds redundant.
Successfully?
Successfully.
Excellent.
I am your host, and joining me already on, without even his cue, because he's so ramped up about Dreamforce.
I'm so fired up right now.
His co-host, Justin Nelson. Justin, how you doing today?
I'm so good. I am doing better than Mark Benioff sneakers.
Mark Benioff sneakers are the steal of the show.
I want them right now.
Right now,
I want to wear those
pair.
at my wedding.
Speaking of which, so you're getting married next year.
Yeah.
You're engaged.
I
Congratulations.
am. Thank you. I want to wear...
I wasn't going to bring it up on the podcast, but here you are.
I want to wear those sneakers.
Here you are, making it personal.
I don't know if they're sneakers or shoes. What are they?
You are making it personal.
Patent leather stuff.
Now you're trying to get off the fact.
No,
all right.
No, I'm very happy about it.
So first of all, we have an agenda today.
We always do.
And I want to say that in advance, today's CloudFocus Weekly will not have an app pick because this is just sort of the instant reaction to the keynote.
Right.
Tomorrow,
yes,
we will have more time to walk the floors and pick something.
I'm picking
brilliant.
Something from the floor. So
That's the
I
rules.
may not have used it at all.
I've already said the rules. The rules.
Pick
Here's
cool
the
app
rules.
off
I'm
the
saying
floor.
them on the mic so you can't argue with me.
All right, good.
The rules are you can't pick Salesforce One or A.
I won't.
Okay.
How about Salesforce Pound?
Oh, no, you can't pick that out. It's not out yet. You haven't used it.
All right.
So let's talk things first, because we always start with a blog post. And this blog post, written by yours truly on a plane flying out here, called Dreamforce 13 Predictions. I find this rather appropriate because we can talk about whether my predictions came true. So I'm just going to go ahead and say the four things that I predicted.
Okay.
And then we're going to talk about the keynote, and we can indicate whether I was right or not.
Okay.
I predicted that there'd be a mobile overload.
You were correct.
I was dead on.
It's over everything.
Well, actually, one of these predictions is tonight.
Okay.
I said that Green Day's ahead, so it'll be that they're going to love doing this so much at the AT&T Park that they're going to continue to do it like next year.
Well, we won't know till next year if that's true.
And then my next one was called Exactly Integrated. Not sure about this one.
We'll
talk about it in a second.
Yeah.
And then the last one I got dead on accurate because I call it CloudFocus Lives, which means...
I read that as CloudFocus Lives.
Yeah, but it's lives.
Okay.
It's like we're lives multiple times.
Oh, okay.
Livier.
We're here live in front of a studio audience for the first time.
It is. So we had the idea that we were going to be projecting out, so no one actually can hear us. People are walking by, and it looks like we're just talking, and they don't know what we're doing.
If you hear loud noises in the background...
This is a professional podcast. This is made live in front of
This is
hundreds
what Leo
of people.
Laporte sounds like after an Apple announcement.
That's correct. And we don't really know how we sound.
We'll know later.
We'll know
when
later.
We download and listen.
You know better as you listen to this than we do.
I actually listen to my podcast.
So here's the thing. Let's get into it. Let's talk a little bit about preamble.
Sure.
We have some Dreamforce Facts. 135,000 attendees.
135 registered.
Okay, registered attendees.
I don't count that as attendees. I count that as registrations. I think those are two different numbers.
1,250 sessions.
That's a lot.
There's one other big one. Oh, over 350 sponsors, of which we are one.
That is also a lot.
And ReadyTalk's one. That's two.
ReadyTalk. And
ReadyTalk
Arkus.
And Arkus. See, there you go. I already gave ReadyTalk 2 punches.
Best sponsors ever.
That's right. So, that's sort of the big thing. Yesterday, so unlike most normal, sometimes he kicks off on the Monday, as I've gone to.
He being Mark Benioff.
As I've gone to, I think, my 7th now. I can't remember. I think it's my 7th. He sometimes kicks off on the first day with his keynote.
Yeah, usually the first day is considered the keynote day, with the night before being like the expo floor opens at like 4 p.m.
Right.
And then there's a cocktail hour kind of thing going on, but that's it for the quote-unquote first day. And the first day is really usually the day of the keynote.
Right.
This year, the keynote was on Tuesday, and there was a full day on Monday of sessions. You spoke at a session. I spoke at 2 sessions on Monday, so if you're listening to this, you've already missed our sessions.
You've already missed it. Sorry.
You've already missed it, unless you're in the audience, which is cool.
And thank you very much for being in the audience.
And thank you.
I had a listener or two come up after my session and say something. It was
Excellent.
nice. Did you have any listeners come say anything to you?
Nobody said anything to me.
That's terrible.
I was that engaging.
Well, no, I think this means that you don't have fans who come talk to you. That's terrible.
I guess not.
All right. And so yesterday was a full-on session
And
day.
there were keynotes.
And keynotes.
Lots of them.
But not the main keynote.
No.
Which was this morning.
This morning.
And last night was sort of the partner, like everybody goes out to dinner and has cocktails.
Yes.
That's what happened last night. So that's what you missed if you missed Monday.
Yes.
Today we kick off with the big keynote, which we're going to talk about for the next 30 or so minutes, maybe 27 minutes. And then this is when, and again, Dreamforce has shifted. Over the years, the keynote in the beginning of Dreamforce was a very product-centric keynote. And they would come out and show lots of new features, show releases, and they would try to wow with something big, right? They'd say, we're releasing something that some new feature that across their lines. And they would demo a lot of stuff. As I remember, they would demo for hours. And I used to like that.
Me too.
Because
they did the biggest announcement ever. They did do it. But they're not very good at keeping their own secrets.
Well, I think their press machine has gotten to the point where they want to get the message out for the analysts and for the press releases. They don't want it to come out after the keynote. So they don't really care.
Well, if you remember, Chatter was quite the surprise.
Well, Chatter was. But
And
everything else over the last couple
Salesforce
years,
One was not much of a surprise. Everyone who was paying any attention realized that that's what was going to be the big announcement.
Well, they released the app in advance. It was out.
Right.
Like you woke up on, if you were out
I
here in
had
San
it
Francisco.
already.
Yeah, I had it. I had played with it before I
Me
even
too.
saw it. So let's get into it. I want to say something because this has never happened to me.
You want to say something?
Yeah, I know.
What do you want to say?
And I want it to be recorded.
Say something.
I want this thing that
say
I'm
anything
going to
you
say
want.
to be
Just
recorded.
The next thing that comes out
I
of your mouth.
literally teared up twice during the opener.
Oh,
I swear to you.
that's so cute.
So this Dreamforce, I'm already rating as one of my favorite Dreamforces.
already? It's barely started.
But you know why? Because I was moved. I was moved by the first 45 minutes of that
the
Dreamforce.
hospital stuff,
Well, they started with a video.
the Haiti stuff.
The video.
Yeah.
The video of... They started with the
hospital.
video, and it was about the hospital, but it was it's one of those just tear-jerking whatever, was showing kids who are obviously recovering, in stages of recovery, and there's this one where the kids, they're all throwing something or moving in slow motion, and you can get it, you get that they're sick, but they're kind of recovering, and it's better, and there's one where this kid throws a ball, and you're like, oh, that's kind of weird. And then you see the dog, the helper dog, go and get the ball and bring it back. And I
Yeah.
literally just started to tear up.
I wish I would have noticed and snapped a picture.
The dog plus the dog plus the kid. That's the thing. All the kids being sick was emotional, but you add in the dog.
well,
and then
the
it
dog
was,
just pulls it over. But
It-
you know what I liked about that? The first 45 minutes of the keynote was kind of took over for what was traditionally the third keynote. So in years past, you had the keynote the first morning, the keynote
Yes.
the second morning, and then the keynote the second afternoon.
was
really
foundation
the
keynote.
foundation keynote.
Exactly.
And that doesn't exist anymore. It kind of has its own keynote. But that first 45 minutes was all about philanthropy, all about giving back, all about the one-on-one model, all about all the philanthropic endeavors that the foundation is doing at the moment.
Right.
Including, the Benioff Children's Hospital, the big project in Haiti that they're working on.
Yep.
As well as just trying to kickstart everyone else that's in the room and saying, hey, you all can do this too.
Yeah. I was moved at that. And then he moved on from that, which I thought was, again, it's his hospital and how much they've raised and all that. And then they moved right into the Haiti thing, and they brought up, and I've already forgotten her name, Peva.
The supermodel?
Whose story is the most, here's something like, and I'm gonna do a terrible thing about it, by trying to retell it in a second or two. But she was a swimsuit supermodel on the top of Sports Illustrated, top in her game, was in the Philippines during the tsunami.
Right, in 2004.
In 2004, with her fiancé or husband. Who passed. They got swept away in the tsunami. She literally had to hold on for dear life for 12 hours. She broke her pelvis. And in that moment, while listening to kids drown and die around her, she said if she could make it out, she would dedicate her life. It's this juxtaposition between someone who has been given so much, beauty and wealth and whatever, and then have it all taken away, and then uses everything that she gets back, her life, to give back. And I'm literally getting choked up now. Like literally that.
Do you need to stop talking?
I might. It really affected me. I thought that was an amazing story, and it wasn't. She started getting choked up, telling her story. This is 2004.
I kind of felt bad for her because
9 years later,
her husband died. So put yourself in that position, and Mark's telling this very tear-jerky story, and then he's like, "So tell us more." And she's like,
she was doing a little bit of a Oprah moment or a Dr. Phil.
I'm gonna cry.
Yeah,
I'm gonna help children the rest of my life. 80-something schools she's opened.
So now she has started a foundation called it was Helping Hands, Helping Homes. Ugh, terrible. Got to take better notes.
Bad memory.
If only the internet worked during the keynote, I could have taken notes.
Yeah.
But
you could have used your hands.
You know what? I'm making the executive decision. That's my pick of the week. Her charity.
Done.
That's my pick of the week.
Mine too.
All right. Well, now you pick.
Go donate something.
All right. Yeah. So I'm going to put it in the show notes. You can click on it and go click on that. Anyway, so the first 45 minutes was this really just amazing thing that wasn't normal for Salesforce. I mean, Mark did his thing. He looked good. He was on par. I mean,
he was on fire.
He was good today.
Parker was on fire.
I would
that
say
was the best I've ever seen Parker speak.
So let's get into Parker came out. Parker did a bit.
Well, first off, Huey Lewis and the news kicked it off with Back in Time, and I think that was very appropriate. And I'll talk a little bit more about why as we go on. And I looked at you and I was like, Back to the Future, I love it. And then they did Power of Love.
Yep.
And out comes Parker looking like Dr. Emmett Brown.
Yep.
He's all like the doc, and they had a little back and forth. Mark said, "Oh, am I Marty McFly?"
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Love that movie. And they used the theme throughout to sort of show how all the things that you've been doing over the last 13, 14 years on the platform, they've worked so hard to retrofit and make this new platform, Salesforce One. I think that's the first time we're even saying it on the pod. The new platform work with everything that you've already done.
Right.
So all your data that's already in Salesforce, all your custom objects, all your apps, everything that you've built, your visual force pages, they're just going to work on your mobile device.
Right.
And that was the big announcement, Salesforce One. That was the big thing. Everything you saw was very mobile-centric.
I'm going to put you on the spot because it's what I love to do.
I know, you love doing that. Go on.
Give me the layman's term. I want layman's. I don't even know what Salesforce is.
You don't?
Nope.
You should not be doing
12,
this podcast.
12 years, and I've forgotten it all because I went back in time when I didn't know Salesforce.
Oh.
Tell me what Salesforce One is from a very, very layman's point of view.
So, from an extremely layman's point of view, Salesforce
Explain
One,
to my 8-year-old daughter.
As I understand it, because again, all we've seen is one small keynote, but then there was this big slide of all the things that are included in it.
Right.
So I'm going to take it from the mobile app perspective, not the platform perspective. The Salesforce One mobile app takes every bit of customization that you've done inside of Salesforce and allows you to use it seamlessly on your mobile device. And then, as a platform, allows you to extend even further and install other third-party applications from the App Exchange that will work seamlessly right within the framework.
I mean, for me, if I had
I use the word like framework, which an 8-year-old may not understand.
No.
But I think that gets the point across.
For me, my light went on. My light went on with one feature. So they came up and they put into 5 because you got to make it easy for everyone to understand. It's about developers. It's about customers. It's about, what was it?
Partners.
Partners. It's about, I don't know. I don't.
Well done.
I don't think that so I went in thinking this is an app. It's a mobile app. It's their new mobile app. It's a combination of touch plus chatter plus, basically mobilizing everything they've ever done and making it easy and seamless to mobilize everything. Editing, so all the stuff we've kind of been waiting for to happen in Chatter, the Chatter app, it's like we've slowly been seeing it, to be able to edit things. Originally you could just view, and you could only view not custom objects, and now it's like, it is literally mobile redone. What I think caught me by surprise are two things. One, they did it with the Chatter app.
Yes.
So I was very confused because my Chatter app turned into Salesforce One, and then I kind of was thinking at it as the Chatter app. But then when I went into it, it's totally not. It is literally, if you just announce the product without knowing the Chatter app, you'd say it's just Salesforce Mobile, apps mobile, everything mobile. It's all there. And so everything that it's easy to do in Salesforce, you can install an app. You can install an app in Salesforce. You can install an app in Salesforce One. You can have multiple, you can get to it.
So this is your easy explanation for the 8-year-old?
My easy explanation is taking everything that you know and love over the last 14 years, everything, and making it mobile. And making a mobile interface for it.
Right.
So the app structure, the objects, the visual force, everything that you think of.
Custom apps.
Everything you think of, and I mean everything, and we've taken it and we've put it into Salesforce One. And that way, when I think of it that way, I'm like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. They've taken a huge leap from, it's now, this new platform, which again, is very much like their regular platform. It's just all mobile and a new interface. That looks a lot like what we've been seeing. I think that's the thing that's kind of...
I like the Today view.
Right.
I like it.
Yep.
I think it pulls from the calendar on the phone.
Yes.
It's very interesting that it wouldn't pull from your calendar on your Salesforce.
I think it does.
No, I don't think so. I think that just brings us down a rat hole of complaining, and we're not going to do that.
Things I want fixed.
We're not going to complain.
All right, so
Salesforce One, big announcement.
Yeah, and they basically spent the rest of the time in all of the other sections talking about how it's available on Salesforce One.
And everything was mobile.
Right.
Everything.
They're all in.
You were not looking at anything that was not mobile except for the Exact Target Marketing Cloud stuff.
Which they showed you the mobile thing for it, but then they didn't, because that's a whole brand new interface. They decided, well, we're just going to show you the actual regular interface, not the mobile interface.
Well, yeah. And to me, of all the things that we saw, that was actually the most impressive to me.
So
the
Exact Target?
Yeah, I thought that was really well done, the marketing automation piece. And the way that they demoed it made it seem like magic, which I always...
Magic?
I always have a problem with.
Magic?
Like showing things that look too good to be true, but I could see how, that was real. Like it sort of gave you a glimpse into the future of what marketing could be like.
Right.
And, with touchscreen bus stops.
That was pretty cool.
And, awareness and knowing when people are in your store, or knowing how a specific campaign converts someone from one place to another place, or starting with one thing and mobile alerting them on a platform to send them an email to click on something, like very impressive stuff.
It did. And it also, two things that I noticed from the Exact Target side. A, I feel like when are they dropping Exact Target? It just stands out like this red thumb.
I know, it's the orange branding that you'll see everywhere around Dreamforce. That is the only thing that's not blue.
Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Exact Target Marketing Cloud. I mean, which one of these things doesn't belong?
The one with the Exact Target in front of it.
Yeah, and then...
But they were already the Marketing Cloud. Then they rebranded it the Exact Target Marketing Cloud.
And then the interesting thing is then all the other purchases, by the way, a nice stat was they've purchased 25 companies. He threw that out a couple times. He said 25.
I think he said 35. You want to bet on it?
Yeah, 25.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Now, 25. If I win, you give me $35. If you win, I give you $25.
Fine, I just won $25.
No, you didn't.
So... what I thought was interesting was that all the other ones, Buddy Media, Radiant 6, all kind of like go down now underneath that.
Yeah,
So-
they got lumped into the Marketing Cloud.
So your exact target Marketing Cloud, and inside it you have Radiant 6 and Buddy
Buddy
Media.
Media and social.com.
Right.
Like all those things are all now part of the exact target Marketing Cloud, which I'm going to have to spend some time over at their like success area
Right.
on the expo floor to really understand what this product is.
It looked like it took over a lot of stuff
It
that I've
sure
seen.
did. If
like
I'm the Marketos of the world, I'm not happy right now.
Twillo's. I saw SMS in there.
Oh yeah, if I'm the Marketos, if I'm Silver Pop, I'm not happy right now.
Eye contact. You can just get into all of them.
Well, those are like the lower end players. I'm talking the ones that would really compete here.
Yeah.
I'm not happy at all.
Yeah.
And then,
But
to
here's
go
the
with
thing.
to go with
Did you feel how I didn't feel while that looked really good? I didn't feel. Actually, I think my prediction's a little off. I felt it was going to feel like it was inside Salesforce,
no,
and it didn't feel
it was
like
not
it was
inside Salesforce,
Okay.
but I feel like it had to have been able to be just integrating and pulling the data from Salesforce.
Well, they did this demo of Sony PlayStation users pulling in these 100 and whatever metrics
All
on a
these
users,
users.
and I didn't hear in there all these metrics are coming from Salesforce.
No, they did not say that.
Yeah.
They alluded to it though.
Yeah.
There's an illusion. It's an illusion.
It's an illusion. What else? What else was announced?
Well, they had the Service Cloud stuff, which always leaves me
Cold.
very cold. I'm very cold on the Service Cloud.
Well,
I don't feel like it is. I just don't feel like it is. Like I said, the things that are like magic and don't feel real, oftentimes I don't like. But I think ExactTarget did a really good job with it, whereas the Service Cloud leaves me saying that's silly. That's not a real scenario.
You mean that a technician who's wearing Google Glass, who just happens to be near a broken $1 million MRI machine,
Right.
can go in, take snapshots with his Google Glass,
and then just figure out that the plug was unplugged.
well, no, he had to send that back to somebody who then drew on it and then send it back to him.
Right.
So he knew that the plug was unplugged.
Right.
That did seem very realistic.
No.
It's just as realistic as when they did the FaceTime
Yeah.
video to plug in a plug.
The red one goes into the red plug. I mean, I think they could do such a better job of explaining the Service Cloud, and they
did.
don't.
I'll tell you when they did.
When did they?
The Obama administration.
That was a much
See?
better example of the Service Cloud. Like, they show these wild and crazy ideas of what service is, and it isn't.
Service is volume.
Service is volume, and also service is what is your problem. It is, like, I did not see on the screen a place where the problem that the person was having was front and center. It was just a case with a feed, and it's like the feed is the UI. Well, the feed for a case is not a UI. It is that's the working part.
I know, but you
The-
only were
what the
missing one
problem
piece.
is-
It was just the description
Yeah,
field
but if
wasn't
you-
on the top.
If you wrote an email that was 3 paragraphs long, that whole top would be the whole screen. And your feed would be shoved below it somewhere.
I don't know. I think you get too caught up in that.
I get caught up in that a lot.
All the data around the case was at the top.
Yeah, like the case number?
Yeah,
Who
case
cares?
number, the rating, when it was opened.
You know what's the most important thing? What's your problem? That's the thing I need in front of me, not
But listen,
not the case number.
She pressed a button on $1 million MRI machine. Everybody knows what their problem is.
Yeah.
It's a plug. It wasn't plugged in.
It was a plug. Clearly.
Yeah, what's funny is that as a product, I think their service product is absolutely amazing, and
They don't have a good way of showing
they
it.
do not have a good way of showing it. They
Because
show you the most
show the sales
futuristic
stuff,
way,
which is great.
Right.
I think the sales stuff comes off really, really well.
So,
like in the field.
well, let's
show
go
this
there
stuff
because they
off.
went in and showed, and not only showed the sales stuff, but they showed one of our clients. Not that we built anything they said, but they actually one of our clients, ADP, and people we know and have met. They were up on.
They
the
were
big
on the
screen.
videos. That
So
was
big
very,
shout out to
very
Dan
cool.
and Heather for being on the big screen.
Very cool to see them up there, and it was very cool to see their app.
Yeah.
It's a very cool app, and just the way that they showed off the way that a salesperson might think about their day,
Right.
and the way that they thought through how a salesperson would think about their day,
Right.
and how they would work was really well thought out in the mobile again, everything was in the mobile UI. So
they were much more
you
iPads.
were not seeing how someone's sitting at a desktop or a laptop. What you were seeing was how a person is going to be working on a phone.
Right.
I'm traveling. I mean, I really don't see people checking in. Like, that
At
stuff's
their
eye
clients?
candy. But, like, that Huddle thing, that
The
was cool.
Huddle app was cool.
They showed
Could
off,
use that today.
They showed off some really cool, like, the Pardot integration into Salesforce One.
Yes.
Where it's like, oh, the guy got back. I made a call. The guy got back to me and said, reach back out to me in a year. So let me hop into the Pardot app, which is part of Exact Target. Let me hop into that and be able to
Put him on a drip campaign, yes.
Right off the bat.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. By the way, we just had someone come up and wanted to ask us a question
like
in the
we're
middle of a
a help desk
podcast.
or
Like
something.
we're a help desk.
Wait,
hold on. Let me put on my Google Glass.
Hold on. Let me put on my glasses.
Glass, help person.
Let me push the button and say, okay, Glass, help this person.
Oh, that's awesome. And there's a lot of feedback. This podcast is almost going to be unlistenable.
Yeah, there's a lot of noise.
I'm going to say everything I ever wanted to say that no one should ever listen to right now because
Oh,
it's
look
a
at
lot of
that.
noise.
There's going to be a session called Studying for Salesforce Certifications.
That's awesome.
Just record that.
We should. Well, it's going to be recorded. Shouldn't it be? Aren't they all?
I don't know if the Success Community Theater, which is where we're sitting in front of,
Yeah.
is actually recorded. My guess is no.
So what else? Oh, I wanted to go into that. Yeah, so I thought you're right. Showing the sales side, and you know what they stayed away from? So two things I thought were just eye-opening to me. One, I think one person mentioned opportunities once.
Right. Opportunities were mentioned once, and the word chatter was uttered once or twice.
It was 2 hours and 30 minutes, or 2 hours and something into it. The chatter was the first time they mentioned it. I thought, wow.
You know why? Because it's so core now that they don't mention it.
It is. But I mean, that's crazy that chatter, which used to be like I almost want to name this podcast "The Death of Chatter."
It's not the death of chatter.
I think
you know what it means. It
as
means
a product,
chatter is so embedded in the core that it's not
right.
It's not a product anymore.
Right.
Like, opportunities are not products. They're just they're parts of the
sales
platform.
Cloud. But I mean, as you and I know, who are people who deal with Salesforce every single day, opportunities are the gold object. I mean, they are the object they spend the most time on, the most money on. They're the ones that have the most protection, the most licensing, or the highest licensing requirement. So I was stunned by those two things. Two things that I feel Salesforce has always been so core on. Chatter, which they've been pushing for years, they literally did not mention and did not even...
It's inferred at this point that it's just all there. It's feed first. They're going with the word feed.
Yeah, feed first.
The word feed has taken over.
What else?
You're just going to keep asking me
Well,
what
they
else?
brought out the Tesla. They drove a
That
Tesla out
was
on the
cool.
stage. That was fun.
They made it like a time machine.
Yeah, I thought it had a good pace. The customer stories, they showed 3 customer stories,
Right.
the video presentation ones,
Yep.
which I thought were much better than previous years. The one with the ski company one from last year, I didn't think was so good, but these I thought were 3 good ones. It was Sony,
ADP, and who was the other one? There was the third one.
Man.
It was actually the one that I took a bathroom break on.
No,
I think
ADP
it was Tesla.
No, ADP
No?
was the one you took a bathroom break on because you
No,
came back.
I came back to the ADP.
Oh. Wow,
There was
good,
a few.
We're good with the note taking.
So the one last big one was the HP announcement, the SuperPod.
Yeah.
So
You want to end on that note?
Well, we may as well.
No, we're going to end on.
It's how they ended it.
No, there's another note we're going to end on.
Well, we'll
after.
talk about SuperPod. So SuperPod, there was no mentioning of when it was available or how you get it or how much it costs or anything, but it is basically your ability as a large enterprise, and that was something that keynote was really geared towards large enterprises, I felt.
Yeah, not a lot of small business stuff.
No, not at all. But if you're a large enterprise, you're in a heavily regulated industry, and you don't want your Salesforce to be on NA14, and you want your own pod, you can have that. So we think.
No,
And
that's
they called
what
it
is.
SuperPod, and it's powered by HP hardware.
Dedicated hardware.
Dedicated.
Which means it is what?
It's its own pod.
Which means it's what?
It's not quite cloud computing.
Say it again. It's not.
It's not cloud computing.
That's right. Sorry, kids.
It's basically Rackspace Server.
Yeah, Rackspace cluster.
Running Salesforce application.
And they maintain it, whatever. Listen, I get the use case. We worked at Citi
Hey, large company that shall remain nameless.
I said we worked in a city.
Oh, okay.
God, you could have let me escape that one.
Nope.
We worked in a city at a large corporation that should not be named. And that came up 8 years ago. Someone mentioned the fact that they're like, well, maybe we'll do this. And it was, he had a different name for it. So I'm surprised it's taken this long in some ways, but I'm also surprised they would announce that at Dreamforce.
Well, it's weird because they've been announcing flavors of this for a long time, like the data residency option, right? The DRO.
Yep.
I've never seen anything come of that at all. It kind of came and went.
I'm
a
sure
lot
someone's
of things
using
come
it.
and go, right?
Right.
Like, hey, where's Chatterbox? It's kind of come and gone.
Salesforce Files.
Come and gone.
It's in beta.
But here's this SuperPod, and I guarantee you governments will be using SuperPods, and I guarantee you financial services institutions will want to use these SuperPods.
Right.
They will stand up a bunch of SuperPods.
Yes.
And
they will
as soon as they have issues with like, there was a big outage last week for big outage, 4 or 5 hours, big outage,
Yeah,
which
multiple
really
pods.
isn't that bad.
Yeah.
As soon as SuperPod goes down,
Right.
They're going to have trouble on their hands.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because everybody, those companies are used to having their pods go down.
That's true.
The benefit of it, I get the benefit. Listen, you want the Salesforce product cycle, you want their releases, you want their whatever.
Right.
But I wonder, if I'm a big company, I want two things. Yes, I want you to take care of it. I want your software. But when you're about to release Winter 14, and I am still working on hold back.
It's my pod.
Why would you put it on my pod?
I want some options.
Does that mean I can hold back Winter 14 for, I don't know, a month, 2 months,
I'm going to
3
go
months?
ahead and say they're not going to let you do that.
I guarantee you they will.
Because they're going to have to keep it in somewhat sync with the rest of their schedule.
Somewhat. It could be one behind. I bet you
that's going to be hard for them. That's going to be very,
terrible.
very hard. That's going to cost them, Salesforce is them. That's going to cost them a lot of money.
But this is the only way that they're able to do certain things.
Well, then
certain
these SuperPods are going to be very expensive.
They are going to be very expensive. If you think your $125 license or $250 or $300 license is a lot, SuperPod. Well, the other thing is probably not license based. It's probably just pod based. You buy a pod.
I guess you buy your
and
pod.
You throw
it's
as
yours.
many licenses on it you want.
Just get it.
And it's about as cloud computing as this mic is.
So how are we going to end this on a high note?
2 products which I'm excited about that have been announced. One is so everything's now Salesforce and then some sort of character. So Salesforce One.
Salesforce One.
And there's Salesforce now Hash or
Pound,
which is the 2-factor.
Yes.
I'm very excited about 2-factor.
Me too. I like that.
I actually love 2-factor.
Me too. I love 2-factor myself.
So I'm excited that they're going to be.
So is this going to be like a Google Authenticator?
Yes. And as now that we can talk a little bit about it, because we've seen this in the future, we've seen it in the future.
Yeah.
They said in that it was going to be.
It'll work with any of the authenticator apps, which really means the Google Authenticator.
The Google Authenticator. So that's awesome.
Yes.
And then
I'm very excited about this because when they turned on the SMS identity as a default, I mean that isn't the greatest because you can absolutely be in a spot where you cannot get an SMS.
Right.
You can still check your email.
Well, I was on one 2 days ago.
On an airplane. That's right.
And you know what? Now that Wi-Fi is ubiquitous on airplanes, you can get mail. You cannot get
So Salesforce Pound, I think they called it, right?
Yeah.
That's your
a big
identity.
One. No. Then the big one that I think most people listening to this podcast are very excited about
is the A.
It's Salesforce A.
Yes.
So Salesforce A is their new mobile administration tool.
It's very light now.
Very, very light. But
basically,
it can do
now
one
it
thing.
can manage users. And you can assign permission sets.
So I've actually played with it. Have you played with it?
Yeah.
I went in.
Did you launch the little thing?
Yes, I launched the thing. So
had some fun little Easter
universal,
eggs in there.
Although it's basically iPad blown up on the iPad.
Okay.
But it works universally. You can go in. You can search for users. You can edit users. You can freeze and freeze.
You froze me?
I froze two
How
other people.
dare you?
I froze two other people in the
How
in our
dare you
company.
freeze me?
I didn't freeze you.
Okay.
I froze one of the partner should not be named. Because I knew he
wouldn't
be in
even
there,
notice.
And you can assign permission sets. And in fact, you can assign. What's nice, you can assign. It's a little one click button to assign multiple permission sets.
That's
so
nice.
You could have. This would be big for permission sets. You could have a couple of key ones, and go in and give someone like, oh, I need to export a report, and you could go in, go click, okay, go do it, and then click undo it,
Right.
and give it to them like for 10 minutes, and
Right.
be on the road, be at a concert, be on the can, whatever.
On the we call it Salesforce A. Also, Salesforce Toilet.
Salesforce Flush.
Whatever you want.
Anyway, I'm very happy about that because I see that as just the very, very beginning. It looks like they built Salesforce One and then went, oh crap, we didn't do anything about admin.
But we can do this real quick because we have the platform.
Because we can build this platform.
Right.
And let's do it. And the last thing I saw in Salesforce One that blew my mind
Oh, really?
was the branding.
Oh, that was really cool.
So I don't know how they did it.
Spring 14.
Spring 14. Well, oh geez, I know.
That's what they said.
Spring-ish.
Spring 14.
Safe harbor.
They
Safe
put
harbor?
it. They're the one who. Well, fine, but they said it, not us.
You will be able to take Salesforce One and brand it like you can brand your login, but you can do a couple of neat things.
The icon can be your logo.
The icon on, which is very
On the
easy
home
to do.
screen.
That's very easy
Fine.
to do. Yeah.
The colors will be your color scheme.
Love that.
And the publisher action
Can be
whatever you want, like a little, like the Dreamforce logo is on the Dreamforce app.
So
it's
now-
clear that the Dreamforce app is on
Salesforce
the Salesforce One
and
platform.
that actually made me very. Once I saw Salesforce One, I was like, good for you guys. You guys have been eating your own dog food.
Yeah.
Because the mobile app in years past has been built on
farmed out.
Has been farmed out.
Yeah.
And we know it's been farmed out. They've admitted
And
to it.
not on their platform.
Right. So I think overall, and I thought this yesterday
That was
morning.
really cool. I can't wait to have the Arkus mobile app
Yep.
with our colors
Yep.
and our little icon as the action.
Maybe Arky.
The little publisher will be our little icon.
No, maybe it'll be the picture of
No,
us.
it should be our little
It'll
cloud.
be us, our CloudFocus Weekly
no,
icon.
No. Just like your face. Hello. Press me to do stuff.
Oh, and before you all ask us, which I'm sure you're asking us remotely, are we going to make the permissioner and compliance locker, which you can see demos of at booth N1328, 1328 in Moscone North. How about that? It's better.
That's a lot better.
Moscone North, booth 1328, get a demo of the permissioner and compliance locker. And the question I'll ask the head of development at Arkus, are we going to see a mobilized version of the permissioner and compliance locker? And when can you commit to that?
That's me. I won't commit to anything. Safe harbor. So the compliance locker, you can already access all the objects and the data that's in compliance
but it's
locker.
the
You
setting
can't
that you
access
wanted
the
to-
settings screen
Right.
yet. And the permissioner, obviously, we just need to, from what I understand, we just need to flip a few switches.
Wow.
And make it available. So we'll be looking to do that soon.
Because you'll be listening to a podcast like Podcast 163, and it'll be brought to you by Mobile Permissioner.
We'll be doing that very soon.
So that's pretty cool. Anyway, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's I've had good amount of sleep. I don't know if it's I got here early enough. I got here on Saturday. But this has been my favorite Dreamforce yet. I feel like their announcement is big enough and game-changing enough that it's worthy of a Dreamforce. It's really, and the more I think about it, the more I'm excited. The more I think, oh, wait, that could be, oh, that's how they're going to do it. Oh, that's how our customers are going to use it.
You know what I forgot? I forgot to come back and say why I thought, while we have some time here, it looks like we have a little time.
Oh, yeah, where's our next podcast?
Oh, that's all right. We got some time. I thought it was very appropriate to have, Huey Lewis there to take us back in time. And here's
I thought
why.
that was a...
Here's why I thought it was
Okay, all right.
an appropriate song,
all right.
an appropriate lyric.
I want a new drug. Oh, sorry, what?
No. So I think in the past, if you go back in time
Oh, you got
to
it.
the 50s, the 40s, 60s,
Are you going to do
70s,
hashtag back in time now?
I'm going to be.
All right.
That's my new Twitter name. The customer experience, the experience between a company and their customers
Yes.
was very much interpersonal and
Right.
very one-to-one.
Right.
And like you walk into the bank and you get a greeting like, hey, Jason, how are you?
Right.
You walk into the local hardware store and they're like, hey, Jason, you need a hammer?
Yes.
Okay. And then over time, like the 80s, the 90s, things got very like one to many.
Right.
And the personal touch got lost.
This is how you couldn't scale it.
You could not scale it.
Right.
And now we're going back in time. We're coming back to a time where we can scale that.
That's right.
That ability to go one-to-one again.
Right.
Using this technology and this power of this platform. So I thought it was very appropriate choice I thought of like lyric and like slogan and theme, because we are kind of going back in time to a point of consumerism that was very different.
Right. And now it can be done. Technology is allowing that connection between the individuals. And Mark usually does the hotel example where you walk into a hotel and they like, he this time did it with his alma mater, and he did it with
USC,
and he did it with something else. It's coming. I mean, it's so close. I'll tell you who's going to do it first. Like, who is the number one maker of...
When I walk into the Apple Store, they're going to be like, hello, Justin.
Yep.
I see that you have the last model of the iPad. Would you like to buy the new one?
Well, because you know why? The new one is... We took everything that's in that one and we just blew it away.
And we made the new one even better.
So much greater.
Like, it's the best.
It's the best. Anyway, I don't know what it is, but I do have this really nice feeling about this. Other than the rain. The rain's kind of not fun.
It was raining today, but we made it over.
We did. All right, so coming up, there's a lot of people in front of us. They're all facing away from us, so that's awesome.
They're watching a really good session on how to become a certified advanced administrator.
That's right. Yeah, that is good. You should do that. So what do we have? So you can come if you want to. We're going to do another podcast tomorrow at
Wednesday at 2.
So today is Tuesday.
Tomorrow
Wednesday
at
2.
Around 2, yeah.
2 p.m. We're going to do another one. And we promise we didn't bring many swag gifts. But if you go to the booth, you listen to this tonight, and you go to the booth and say, I'm a CloudFocus weekly listener, and give me my swag, someone at the booth will give you some swag.
Oh, yeah. You'll get some stuff.
You'll get some stuff.
And tomorrow we'll come back and we're going to talk about the Marissa Meyer keynote, which I'm really excited about.
I cannot wait to talk about the concert.
The concert, which you won't go to.
I will not go to.
But I will.
I cannot wait to talk about how I didn't go to.
And some other sessions that we're looking forward to, and some other things that we've experienced while here.
It's a 2-a-week, CloudFocus bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly, isn't that every other week?
No, it's twice a week.
That's twice a week?
Split the week, twice a week.
All right.
I don't know, maybe not.
I don't think so, but okay.
Until then, we'll be back tomorrow, so not a lot of hoopla. We'll be back. Until then, enjoy those cloudy and rainy days in San Francisco.